Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to new standards of excellence.
Yes.
Say yes to engaging reportage with a difference.
Yes.
Introducing Yes International Magazine.
Now, we have some broadcasters who don't speak well. Why do you think it is so? Is it that they're not properly trained, or they've refused to, because sometimes you would expect that a broadcaster should be able to speak well, but you come across some of them who don't speak well. What could be the issue?
Azu, when you say speak well, could you elaborate on that?
Yes, some of them don't speak like broadcasters.
How do broadcasters speak?
When a broadcaster speaks, you fall in love with English language. Some of them don't.
So
So who could be responsible for that? I mean,
when I was much younger
on air, and you say to yourself, "This person has no business being here."
And you're asking, how did we get here? Okay, yeah. So when I was much younger, I used to think that everyone has to speak like the Queen, but that's not right. Okay. We are Africans. We are Nigerians.
Okay.
There must be there's something called the dialectal inflection. It was those days they say to you, you've got to expunge it. No one needs to know that you're Igbo. But my name is Ify Onyegbule. That's who I am. I have an English name. I don't bear it, because I want to connect with my roots. But then people used to be slammed in those days, and that's why you find a lot of radio and TV stations saying to people, go and watch so and so channel. I want you to speak like this person. That's where we got it wrong. You must be yourself. Speak like yourself. Look at the South Africans. You can't take it away from them. It is beautiful when you're speaking in English, and I can also identify. So where you're from, things are beginning to change. And I think that we need to look away from goading people or bullying them and saying that they're not speaking like broadcasters. I don't think we should continue in that line. As long as they are able to communicate, as long as you can understand. Communication is incomplete if I say something to you and you don't understand it. Now, let me throw this to you. For those who try to speak through their noses and they're forming accents, some start with the American accent, they step into the British, they're into the Canadian. You don't even know who you are, but you need to maintain something. Be someone, be yourself. So if someone is speaking in an accent and you're not able to comprehend or decipher what it is that they're saying, have they communicated? No. So I think we should stop embarrassing people to say they're not speaking like broadcasters. Yes, if God blesses you and you're able to speak well, because speaking well, it doesn't start from when you have become, let me not use the word old, when you become advanced, you want to learn to speak. You start from childhood, which is what I say to people. Did you ever open the Brighter Grammar? How was it like when you were growing up? How did you grow up? So those are the issues. They probably missed it from childhood, and they get to some certain age, they want to be broadcasters. So if they're communicating, I just think that we should just try as much as we can to just let them flow.
All right. How about those who don't pronounce words, correctly?
Correctly, yeah. So that's a big issue. That's a big issue. If you don't pronounce your words correctly, it's what do we call it in broadcasting now? There's a name. We have a name for that, and it's very unforgivable. I almost lost my job for mispronouncing. Now, I wasn't pronouncing an English name. I almost lost my job for mispronouncing the name of a monarch in Ondo State. That's the Deji of Akure. I called something else. And my own boss, my MD, was listening to the news. And when I stepped out, I just saw my phone. It was ringing, and I saw him, that he was the one calling. I knew why he was calling me. And he says to me, Ify, but you can speak Yoruba. How could you have missed out on that? And he gave me the right pronunciation of that name. And it stuck in my head. So for some people, when you correct it, it gets in this ear and gets out the other ear. They don't imbibe it. As a broadcaster, you have no idea the amount of words and pronunciations that you can store in your head, that you can keep. And when you need it, it's just like a click or a switch, a light switch, a bulb switch, and it comes on. So people need to understand. That's why we say get trained. There are so many trainings that people can get to do now, and social media has made it easy for people. There are broadcasters who are giving you all of those things for free. Many of them on this Instagram where we're having this conversation. So what people can do is find out. Don't be ashamed. One of my younger colleagues called me, I think 2 days ago. He sent me a message. In the madness I was going on, I think that was the time I was battling with someone using my picture, for something else. The guy sent me a message. The guy sent me a message to say, please, I have these names, these Igbo names and places. Please pronounce it for me. And I'm saying to myself, he has an idea, because he first made he made jest of me and said, this is your picture. I don't know why they like using it. This is not the first time they're using your pictures for such a thing. But please, sis, I need you to pronounce these words for me. So I dropped all the madness that was going on around me, and I had to pronounce the words, the names and titles of the kings he wanted to use, maybe in the news, and the places that he was trying to call. So I did a voice note and I sent it to him. And that's what the job is about. Find who knows what it is you're trying to do and ask questions.
Okay. Now, you've been into broadcasting now for 23 years. What would you say has kept you going?
It's a passion. It's a passion, because many know that sometimes the kind of money that you think or that you want, that you look forward to, you don't get it in broadcasting. Maybe until the later years when you now begin to get all of those big gigs, and that's why you find a lot of broadcasters doing other things on the side. It's been the passion for me, being able to connect with people, being able to meet the needs of people, because I went into there was some kind of thing I used to do with my programs on radio. You bring on people to talk about stuff. We get to check them out. If they're real, we'll find a way to raise money for them. So for me, it's about connecting. I've been able to connect with people in this last 26 years. And I found out that in the course of these years, I've made a lot of friends. Yes, there have been enemies. You could call them frenemies. But there are people also who look out for me. So I would just say that it's the relationship that I've been able to build with people. Some of them have opened doors. Some have fetched me money. Some, relationships have been nurtured. And I'm just grateful for that.
Okay. Now, you've moved around different stations.
Yes.
Of all those stations, where did you find the greatest fulfillment, and why?
The greatest fulfillment. So I will say to you, it's like asking a man who has 4 or 7 wives, so which of the women do you find more fulfillment? Because I know that people would watch this video sometime, so I'm not trying to say this is actually the best or that's the best, because from one station to the other, there were things that were added to my life. They've been wonderful as it is. But there's just one place that allowed all of my ideas to blossom, to blossom, to breathe. But please permit me, I wouldn't mention names, so that this is the time of politics. I don't want to
tell us the station. It doesn't matter.
I don't want to get into that conversation. But in all of those 16 or 17 radio and TV stations where I've been, it's been a wonderful story from one to the other. Remember, I'm stepping into one now as the boss, and I think I want to make it one of the best places that can be.